What's up, y'all? Real quick, looking for the charger. Hold on. Uh, What's up, y'all? What's up, man? I was looking for the charger for the real quick. How do I sound in the chat? Let me know how I sound. Put the ones up if I sound good in the chat. Let me know some. Let me know some. Okay, how do I sound now? I had to change it and put it on the mic. Okay. Give me 1 second. I know I said I didn't really have nothing. Shout out to Gen X Gemini for the super chat. She said she didn't care what we discussed. She just needed a distraction. Um, I man, I took off today. A lot of stuff, not nothing crazy, but I just wanted a day off from my second job. So I'm here. So yeah, man, I just wanted to kick it. Me and DJ got a chat tomorrow. We're gonna do a live stream tomorrow, a bigger live stream where we'll talk about a lot of, as you can see, I'm sweating a lot of other stuff. We got a full lineup tomorrow. But since I was off, I wanted to come on and wanted to come on and holler at y'all for some real quick. So if y'all got any topics that y'all want to talk about, let me know. Let me know. I'm not sweating per se. I just got out the shower and all of the water from my head is running down my face right now. So pardon me. Let me see who's in the chat. Shout out to Gen X, like I said, Demetria Glenn, T Fran, Lachey Lennox. Let me see. Dropping knowledge bombs. Ugly. D2B2. Um, I hope top dog shit ain't true. If it is, I hope they aren't actually trying to have sex with their girl. Okay, Easy McConan, I want you to elaborate on that and tell me what you are talking about. Shout out to Slade, um, uh, WTF Hodor, Sandman, Takia Smith, Dre, KK, Alexander Nkondo. Okay, so where are we now? Because you said something about Top. What's going on? What's going on with Top? What's going on with Top? I didn't hear about TDE stuff. All that was going on. I did see that Moni had posted something, like she reshared something. Shout out to Chilla with Moni. She said that she thinks a video is going to be relevant again, and it was about them trying to quote unquote expose Kendrick. So TDE exec got accused of some fan behavior. Is that what we're talking about? Somebody got accused of some fan behavior? Because that's gonna be weird, and I can look that up and see what's exactly going on. Um, Give me 1 second. Okay, so we ain't gotta talk about that. And it seemed like people had a rough day. It's his son Musa. Okay, okay. So check this out. What good happened today? What good happened to y'all today, man? What good happened today? Let's talk about that. Does anybody have some positive news? Okay, so it was from Newsweek. Somebody said they don't trust them. Let's talk about something positive. What happened positive today that we want to talk about? The screw song from the academic screw song. I'm going to do. I didn't mean to do that. My computer going a little slow. Hold on. But I haven't heard it. I'm gonna do a reaction to that Screwface song tomorrow, in addition to some other reactions. So the Decipher Saturday will be a bunch of reactions. Not a bunch, maybe 2 or 3. I have one content piece that I want to do a reaction to from Read My Soul. It was about Act being a potential double agent. I want to talk about that. So I will do a reaction to that tomorrow, in addition to the Screwface. And I had been promising, well, I had been asked several times to do a reaction to some Coast Contra. So I'm gonna do a reaction to some Coast Contra and the King Los LA Lakers freestyle. And then after that, me and DJ gonna do a live stream tomorrow. A much more streamlined live stream. Shout out to Jams. My cookies turned out good. That's great. Put some in the mail, send them to the guys. It was interesting. Hopefully interesting in a good way. Because this would be my first time like doing a reaction of that sort. So I hope it ain't a lot of stuff I end up disagreeing with him on. But that premise was something that interests me. So I wanted to talk about it. D2B2 says my computer is moving slow, so I can't hit the what's the name? How they I can't catch them as they flowing down the stream. Give me 1 second, y'all. I don't want the computer to die, y'all. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I do not want this computer to down, y'all. Give me. I'm gonna do another another countdown. I'll be right back. Okay. Can y'all see and hear me now? Can y'all see and hear me now? Um, I don't know, man. I'm trying to be positive, and somehow the charger went missing on 1%. So I ran around the house looking for the charger, trying not to wake up the kids. And then I found the charger block, and then my computer died trying to switch it out. So, all right. So since we know that there are forces at play trying to stop us from being positive, we're going to be positive. Um, Down in Dixon says skip over to purchasing them cheap ass Drake tickets. Um, that's positive. A huge artist like that having tickets that are available to the people who can't necessarily afford them. But I did see that he's having issues selling tickets. I did see that he's having issues selling tickets in Australia, and that's very very unfortunate um, for him. But I don't give a fuck because he earned it. Like if he would have just took his L and bounced back, he would have been fine. He wouldn't have had to run to Australia to get a check balance. So he alright. He alright. Um, let's see. What we got? How long was I gone? Was I gone like 5 minutes? Um, yeah. Shout out to D2B2. My wife tipped. She was like, "They can hear you. They can hear you. Don't wake them up. Don't wake. Don't wake them up." Um, the first live I've been able to see in real time. Dub Bear. Shout out to you. Um, we if it makes you feel any better, we haven't done a lot of live streams, so you haven't missed a lot. We premiere all of our content, so it feels like a live even though it's pre-recorded. But you haven't missed a lot. But there will be another one tomorrow, like a big one. Like me and DJ, we have a full slate and we're gonna chop it up. But like I said, I did this live tonight because I didn't go to my second job and I usually work on Fridays. So I wanted to come in here and holler at y'all, man. I don't have a slate of stuff to talk about. And since a lot of people were saying that it seemed like folks were just having a badass Friday or a rough Friday rather, I kind of just wanted to be I kind of just wanted to be see if we could be positive. What you talking about, Slade? What's up? Tell me something good. 5 minutes and CP color people time. Okay, okay. So it went too long. It went too long. Let me see. Let me see what I missed in the comments because I was gone for a while. Um, Miss Mia said not skip the spin doc. I tried to. I tried to a little bit, and I hope you working on that topic list for the episode we got you slated to produce. So shout out to you on that. Let me see.
what a spin Drake is giving back to his less fortunate fans. That's a fact. He had to go all the way over there because the European circuit don't get to see the artists a lot. So it just took Drake to get his ass beat and get humbled to go over there and try to holler at his people. I did see him. It was videos of him doing karaoke, trying to warm up for for the tour. I don't know what kind of rehearsal that is, but we'll see how it turn out. At least he over there hiding away from what we got coming next week. Uh, don't be stressed. The episode that we did, the first one, I haven't started editing it yet, but it'll be out probably end of probably next Saturday on Patreon. So you'll have a rubric. I promise it's not as difficult as you might think it is. I really just want you to come up with some stuff, like some good questions and thoughts, and we'll build the episode around that. And once you see what the first one was like, you'll see it ain't that deep. Um, I'm trying to see if okay, we are deciphered. They say you owe us a freestyle to the lobby music you had us listening to. Um, hell no, hell no. The day let's say let's say it like this. If Tyler the Creator come out on stage, I do it. If he come out on stage at the Super Bowl, I do a freestyle on Patreon. I just put it on the free side, but I'm not putting it on Facebook. I mean on YouTube. I'm sorry. I ain't finna freestyle on YouTube and be up here looking stupid. I know how y'all be clipping shit up. I'm not finna go famous for fumbling the bag on a freestyle. Sorry, you're not finna get me. You're not finna get me. um, let me see. Uh, Aubrey really was better off avoiding the rap battle. Okay, I got a theory about that, and I think I already said it, but I think the theory was he knew that he was already in renegotiations with UMG. I think he stepped into that battle and was like, "This will be a bargaining chip because if I beat Kendrick in this battle, they got to talk to me differently, right?" So with that being said, if I do that, my stardom rekindles. I become bigger than I was, or I just reinforce my standing in the game. I drop the album go platinum in let's say 2 weeks. I go on tour, and now I can step to UMG and be like, "Hey, I need 800 million dollars as opposed to the 40 that y'all gave me the last time." So I think he had the contract in mind, and that's why on push-ups he was talking about splits and contracts. I think that was what was on his mind when he jumped into the battle. I think he had the contracts in mind, and he wanted to win for the opportunity to go back to Universal with a bigger bargaining chip. But that's the thing, to kill. It wasn't about out rapping them. Drake thought he was going to be able to use propaganda and media to win the battle and drop like a hit song, and that was going to do it because that worked for him previously. When you look at back to back, it wasn't like no crazy ass diss song. It was just a a viral a viral hit. It wasn't a elite diss song. Miss Mia said my offering for tomorrow's live, I'm going to be at the Royal Rumble with my son. Hate to miss it, but mommy do the calls. That's perfectly fine. Thank you for the super chat. I always wanted to do that as a kid, like go to a wrestling event. Um, so my inner child will be with y'all in spirit. That's dope. Family always comes first. I tell DJ that all the time. Anytime we have something that comes up, I'll be like, "Fuck it, bro. I know we could be behind." I'll be like, "Family first. It does not matter to me. Like all of this could end. But if I can go out of this room across the hall and see my kid, or further down the hall and see my son, like that's where you know what I'm saying the real solace is. I you know what I mean. So family is first, second, and third. Well, God is first, then family is second, third, and fourth for me. So I understand that 2000%. Miss Albrina, shout out to Meredith B. Miss Albrina is and was spoiled and smug. UMG know what they have in Kendrick. I think so too. Um, I think I think Drake had got too big for his britches, and I think they understand being UMG that Drake is on the downside of his career, and so with that, him asking for almost $1 billion when they already own his back catalog is not. It don't make sense to them because what are they paying him for if they already own the stuff that's doing most of the streaming? Um, why would they give him that much money? Especially if they already helped introduce him, to Stake and all of this other stuff. They already helped put money in your pocket. So what would they have to do to get you to the level where you'd be able to recoup um almost $1 billion? So okay, y'all going crazy with super chats. Okay. D2B2 said, I'm just beginning my busy season. 55 required chargeable hours, but things are tricky now. Shout out to everyone here in the chat. Shout out to Skip. Shout out to DJ. We're packing out predators. We're going to talk about that in detail tomorrow. We're going to talk about that in detail. I didn't want to have that type of conversation without DJ. Um, so we got a full slate. So we gonna get into that tomorrow. I've seen a lot of videos. I didn't want to just jump out with my opinion wasn't it wouldn't be different, but at first it was rage. So I wanted to get to a point where I was more tempered in my offering. So tomorrow will be a good time for us to get into that and have a deeper conversation on just the mentality that circles around, like not just in the streaming community, but in the lower vibrational aspects of hip hop as well. So yeah, we're gonna talk about that tomorrow for sure. Um, then D2B2 came back. He said, "Seen a light skinned nigga with his brains blown out at this hamburger stand with Kenny hanging." This is not a tape recorder saying that he did it, but ever since that day, I've been seeing Drizzy different. Um, Drake got said, Coach Q switched the algorithm album and book drop. It's in rotation on the radio in Nashville. I A&R the music better than Cole might delete. I A&R the music is better than Cole might delete later. Um, send the send the link. If it's available on streaming platforms, I'll check it out. Daybear said I agree that Drake wanted to use the beef to get a better bargaining position with UMG, but he went against the worst possible opponent. And I think that's where the arrogance comes in at. Because I don't think he thought he could lose because I think at the end of the day, he was under the impression that UMG was going to help him. So that might make me think they helped him prior. So he pissed because he felt like the arrangement wasn't continued more so than um, the issue with not like us. I just think he felt like they were supposed to choose him over Kendrick. And with Kendrick having a huge hit, he's taking that as them choosing Kendrick over him. So that what led to the lawsuit. Absolutely dropping knowledge. He's definitely privileged. He's never been in a situation where he had to, you know, get it out the mud, so to speak. Like, bro was he was a child actor turned rapper that from the gate had help and had his hand held. He had Bun B, Wayne, Kanye beats. Like So Far Gone was like super duper assisted on. You know what I'm saying? Like he had beats that he should not have been able to use on a mixtape that eventually made it to streaming platforms. Like he was pushed from the very beginning of his career. So I think he expected that as the norm. So when people try to be objective, he takes that as hate. And I think that's where him and academics kind of meet. And this part I can kind of talk about. Like when academics started to shoot at all the other streamers from the perspective of I helped y'all, so y'all shouldn't be kicking my back end. But bro, you won't even allow them to have their opinion because it goes against something that you did that you know you was wrong about. They think they own people once they help them or do something with them, and those are the type of friends that you never want to have, man. And he's in a very precarious position, due to him being blocked or banned. I don't know if it's permanent or not. I keep saying reportedly on all of those articles. Um, and like I said, we'll get into that in more detail tomorrow. Um, but at the very least, he's temporarily banned from Twitch, and it seems like I can't remember who it was. One of the brands, I think it was Steak, unfollowed him. Let's see what this super chat says. We got a couple more. D2B2 again. UMG. Matter of fact, shout out to everybody with the super chats, and shout out to everybody in the chat that stayed while I got this shit situated. It was lagging and everything. That's why I had to go get the real computer charger. Not only was it on 1%, but it was lagging. So I couldn't even select the chats because it was lagging so bad. But D2B2 said UMG definitely helped him prior with the Pusher beef. Pusher would have crashed out, but he got hamstrung by the label. Yeah, UMG had the original upload of the story of Editor. I'm taking that. Wow. I did not know that. I did not know that he got that song suppressed initially. That's crazy. I thought a cease and desist was for hoes. I thought a cease and desist was for hoes. Um, Kendrick is a better rapper. Shout out to the Bear, Dub Bear. I think that's how you said it. Kendrick is a better rapper, and Kenny hated him for over a decade. He tried that, man. Foolish. I don't think it was necessarily like a hatred for Drake per se, or for Aubrey. I think he might have hated elements about Drake, the character. You know what I mean? Because I think, especially once Kendrick hit Mr. Morale, Big Steppers, that part of his evolution as a man, I think he really started to really get solidified in how he felt about Drake. Because at that point, once you go through something that changes or that just calcifies your opinions and your viewpoints and your perspective, and you start to walk in that, when somebody is going out of their way to exist in the opposite, you start to have a problem with that. And I think that's where they met up, and Drake started playing with him, especially with the first person shooter and the red button track that was on Scary Hours. I think at that point Kendrick was like, fuck it. I'm gonna shoot for real to see if they really hoes or not. And if they jump outside, we're gonna have a good old squabble in the street. Especially since they was talking about this big three shit, like we all on the same level. And we not. We not. We're not on the same level as artists, because artistically, if we being real, like, Drake is disrespectful to what hip hop is as far as artistry goes. Like, he's been exposed multiple times for not writing his raps. Um, he suppresses other artists to his own benefit. You know what I mean? When artists are on the way up, he steal the energy that they got and then won't help them when they actually need help. And we can see now that he's been doing stuff behind the scenes to continue his ascension at the detriment of other artists. So he's definitely been bad for hip hop, but it's just the numbers. He's been good for the industry, but not good for hip hop as a whole. So um, then you talk about Cole, and I said I wasn't gonna talk about Cole, so I'm gonna keep this real brief. I just think artistically, like, we talking about bodies of work, J. Cole not at that. He's not at that level. You know what I mean? I think artistically he's closer to Big Sean than he is to Kendrick. You know what I mean? I think Wale has a better catalog than J. Cole. And I don't particularly think it's close. Um I don't think he's just blowing him out the water per se. But let's say if Wale's overall catalog is like an 8.2, 8.3 out of 10, I'm putting J. Cole at like a 7, a flat 7. And this was before he backed out. Like, um, I just don't think his music holds up for real. Um, I think sadly enough, I think the off season is one of his better projects probably since Born Center. But it just feels like a freshman album. It feels like that album you make when you first get out, like when you first get signed and you do that album where you just want to rap on everything, you just want to rap your life away, you know what I mean? And just show people that you can rap and you're not necessarily building an album. And Mike Do It Later was a worse version of that, you know what I mean? So yeah, Kendrick had every reason to feel how he felt. And okay, so let me see. I think this is what Gen X was talking about, the good explanation. With He's an incubus. He takes the swag energy way of smaller artists and uses them to go up and leave them behind while acting like he's helping. That's a fact. And I got a story I want to tell y'all. We'll get to it in a second, but it's about integrity. So keep that word in mind. And when I get to it, or we finish this, just somebody put integrity in the chat to remind me. And then I have a story because I want to tell y'all about something that happened to me today. That led over from yesterday, and integrity is at the center of it. But we're gonna keep talking about these weak ass rap niggas real quick. Cole can rap. This is I lose a lot. Shout out to you for joining the chat. Cole can rap, but his catalog, his entire catalog is mid. I'm gonna be honest. I feel how I feel about J. Cole, right? And I try to never be. I never try to overextend into it being hate for the sake of entertainment. So I try to keep it as objective as possible. And in that vein, I will say this: the warm up is an amazing body of work from J. Cole. Friday Night Lights is good, but it's a lesser version, in my opinion, of the warm up. Sideline Story is probably um, the worst first album of any of the elite blog era rappers to come out of all of them. And that's from ASAP Rocky, K.R.I.T, shit. We can kind of count Currency in there. Wiz, Kendrick, of course, Drake, Tyler, Travis. Who else? Like, we can kind of count Cudi as blog era. But yeah, just all of those guys. Sideline Story is probably the worst debut album out of all of those artists. The only one that I haven't heard that I can't comment on is I haven't heard Tyler's first album, so I can't comment on that. But other than that, J. Cole's freshman album is definitely the worst out of all of those. Let me see. Damn, come get washed. Cole got washed by Wiz Khalifa. Um, Cole, I mean, not Cole. Rolling Papers. It wasn't good. It wasn't great. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's less cringy shit on there than on Sideline Story. Sideline Story feels like he tried. It's like he tried to do the same project three times. The warm up into Friday Night Lights in the Sideline Story was the same project three times in a row. It just got worse every time he did it. Miss Mia, shout out to you. People don't talk enough about K.R.I.T. K.R.I.T, early K.R.I.T was amazing. I think the Southern sound, especially at that time, because people weren't as receptive to regional music, and I think that hurt him for real. But early K.R.I.T was he was one of the ones. K.R.I.T was here. I think Underground. I don't have his discography in front of me, but the one that had highs and lows on it. Um, that album was good. Cadillactica was good. Forever is a mighty long time. That double album might be a classic to me. I think I can stand on that. I think Forever is a Mighty Long Time is a classic album. Big Crit definitely does not get talked about enough, but I think it's because he lacked the mainstream appeal to cross over into the conversations with the casuals. And I think a lot of the conversations are being had by casuals until 2024, going into 2025. I think a lot of people are turning to more informed sources of media, um, whether they even be on social media, for their opinions and viewpoints on a lot of this stuff. But if Crit would have came out, if Crit was in his prime now, there would be a very different conversation about his contribution to hip hop. Let me go through some of these. Crit was ahead of his time. Exactly. He was definitely ahead of his time. Um, I just think I don't think the record industry wasn't ready for a southern artist that could rap coming off of what the South had been. And then he was kicking that, he was doing a lot of homages to early Outkast and UGK. So I just think they didn't know how to market it. But I think now it'll probably be easier because we might be venturing into a more regional brand of hip hop and just lyrical hip hop in general. But yeah, I think he was a little too early, and now, ironically enough, he spent like 4 years trying to play the label game, and that hurt his career even worse. Like I think from Crit is here forward, it was just a lot of um bad luck for Big Crit. You know what I mean? Oh, Nip too. Uh Nip had a good run too, as far as like his mixtape Mailbox Money, Crenshaw. I got Victory Lap over there on the wall. I think y'all can see it when we do the big shots um on some of our content pieces. But yeah, I can't really count Victory Lap because he was so farther along in his maturity as an artist that it wouldn't be fair to compare that to Sideline Story, but most definitely. Uh Damn, D2B2. Shout out to D2B2. Let me see. Hold on. Let me get him something real quick. Let me know if y'all can hear this. Shout out to D2B2 with the super chat. 50 big ones. I want you to really go off on Cole one day. Shout out to I said that I was gonna do like in the event that I can like leave my second job full time and start making like think pieces. J. Cole will be one of the people that I make a think piece on. I really want to try to break down his career and like how branding was such an important element to his career and even now. So D2B2, I'm definitely going to attempt to do that at some point. I did have a shout out to Dre. I did have like a mini crash out, but I'm trying to reserve it because I don't want to come across as if I hate him because I'm still reluctantly optimistic for the fall off. I say that because I feel like bro need a classic because I feel my opinion he don't have one, and I feel like for the level of rapper and the status of artist that he's become, he need a classic album, bro. And I just for the J Cole fan that I was at one point, and that I still am to a certain degree, I want him to be able to walk away saying he has a real deal rap classic. You feel what I'm saying? Like I think 2014 was more so on the cult side. I think he satisfied his fans because of his first two albums just felt like they weren't him. So on Forest Hills Drive, he kind of that was him being his most authentic self. I say that. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why that one went over so well because that was him being his authentic self at that time, and he learned how to make what they call and response songs. So yeah, I think that was just a turning point in his career. I think it's becoming his undoing going forward. But up until that point, he really needed that. Westlake said he said Skip got hate stored in the deep freezer for Jermaine. It's not even hate, bro. it's kind of like disappointment a little bit. It's kind of disappointment. Like let me see. I say it this way. I came on to Kendrick last. It was Drake first, then it was J. Cole, then 2 years later. Like I didn't get on to Kendrick until late 2011. I had known about J. Cole since late '09 and Drake early '09. So when I heard the warm up, I thought J. Cole was gonna be a super. I thought he was gonna be the next coming of Nas for real, for real. Because at that point in time, I was freshman year of college, so I'm hearing J. Cole, and I'm like, that's kind of my introduction into that style of rap, at least for that generation. So I was very optimistic about what he could become. I remember the first time I heard "Losing My Balance" from the warm up. It ended up being a bonus track, but I saw him perform it live. Well, I saw him do a live performance of it, and I was like, he's really talented. You know what I mean? And he gets across to me at that stage in my life. You know what I mean? So I had very high expectations for him, as I did for the entire Big Three. Well, of what became the Big Three, but even Wale, I had huge expectations. Not expectations. I had huge hopes for these guys because expectations are probably you probably shouldn't have expectations for anybody on this earth other than yourself. And sometimes they're bad for you to have such lofty or such rigid expectations. It takes away the ability for ingenuity and pivoting. You know what I mean? But in reference to Cole, man, he's definitely not a bad rapper. I feel like he's rapping the best he has in his entire career, probably since the very beginning. Um, you know what I mean? I just think artistry wise, he suffers a lot in the creativity and bravery aspects where he's willing to take it to the next step. I think he's addicted to a comfort zone and and that's hurt him creatively a great deal. Shout out to Jay in the chat. He said, "How without anything close to Illmatic and it was written." I said back then, this was where I'm at. Where I'm at. I'm not saying that he made something like that. I'm just saying when I heard the passion and the skill that he was rapping at or rapping with on the warm up, I thought he could be amazing. I really did. I thought he could be amazing, and it just didn't turn out that way. He can rap his ass off, bro, but like the a lot of the other skills that a lot of great all time artists possess, J. Cole either doesn't have enough or he lacks them completely. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's pretty much it on J. Cole. That's why I feel how I feel, and that's why I'm so passionate about it because like I was a super duper J. Cole fan, bro. It's like finding out it's almost like I found out wrestling was fake to be a callback to Miss Mia from earlier. I just found out Santa Claus was fake. I found out wrestling was fake. And shout out to Aaron. And then Dot dropped Good Kid, Mad City, killed all the other hype. I agree. I remember the day that I was introduced to Kendrick Lamar. Well, let me not say that. It's an artist by the name of XV. I don't know if y'all have heard. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of XV, but he was bubbling during the blog era. He had a tape called The Layover, and somebody had put me on to The Layover, and I was listening to it, and I was like, "Damn, bro, he sound like a slightly nerdier version than Lupe. He sounded like if Lupe was a gamer. He wasn't as lyrical as Lupe, but he had that style. Like he came from that lineage. So I followed XV a little further, and he had a project titled Zero Heroes, and on that project was a guy I had never heard before by the name of Kendrick Lamar. And like I said, the song was called Zero Heroes, and Kendrick snapped, but I just didn't think nothing of it. So, this was like 2009, 2010. So I was in the military, and somebody was like, "You like?" He's like, we was talking about rap and shit. He was like, "You like Cole or whatever Drake?" I was like, "Yeah, I fuck with Drake." But I really like J. Cole. He was like, "Well, listen to this dude. His name Kendrick Lamar. He just put out a project called Section 80." And this is the amount of trust that my homeboy Darian had in me at the time. He gave me his phone. He gave me his Beats by Dre. And back in 2011, 2012, Beats by Dre was just coming out. They were super expensive. He left me his phone and his $250, $300 headphones and walked away for an hour and a half. And I remember Hold Up coming on the first time. And I was like, oh shit. Wow. This shit is crazy. Like start with the horns, like everything felt so organic. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just hearing him. He like at this point he's sounding polished. The mix is good. You know what I mean? He's saying some real shit. So by the time I get to rigor mortis, I'm like, who the fuck is this? Who is this? This little young nigga is amazing. And then you get the high power to close it out. And I'm just like, nah, he might be the one. He might be the one. You know what I mean? And then like the person who put that comment in the chat, once Good Kid Mad City came out, looking back, we probably should have known it was over. But Drake had just put out Take Care. Wale had dropped Ambition. Like the blog era, like everybody was on the ascent. But that Section 80 going into Good Kid Mad City, especially me hearing them so close because I didn't know. So I'm going back from that point, Kendrick Lamar EP. I hear the song Faith. I'm just like, he's different. You know what I mean? He's different. Like he's speaking to me, and he always spoke to me like on a spiritual level more than anything. You know what I mean? Like he deep, like he can rap, but he speak to you on a spiritual level. You know what I mean? So I always had like a deeper connection from that point forward. Had a deeper connection with him than the other two. And when To Pimp a Butterfly dropped, it was absolutely over. It wasn't nothing you could tell me. I remember being nervous about it because I was such a fan of Kendrick's, and at that point in time, especially at that point in time going forward, it was so much pressure because like your friends might not like somebody as much as you do, so it's like they almost put the pressure of the project being good on your shoulders. So I remember hearing To Pimp a Butterfly for the first time, and I get all the way to the end, and I'm just like, this is perfect. This is a perfect album. And from that moment, it was nothing nobody could tell me. He was ahead from that point forward. Kendrick was in the lead, probably by an inconceivable margin, artistry wise, from that moment that Tupac stopped speaking on To Pimp a Butterfly to now. It's not somewhere you can't cover that distance because he already has the technicality, but now he's able to reach you and attach himself to all of those emotions and channel them through song and reach you and leave you speechless, breathless, you know what I mean? But never leave you hopeless. And that's why I feel like To Pimp a Butterfly is such a important album, not just for his career, but for hip hop in general. You know what I mean? He pulled in all of those genres, those natively black genres, and allowed that incorporation to help him tell a story that nobody from his era has been able to tell, even close. But let me go back to some of the comments. I see Foxy Blue in here. Shout out to Foxy. Um, J. Cole had a lot of potential, but he's made some weird choices. I agree. He seems like he can't make up his mind of who he wants to be. I agree. Making weird references in his lyrics. Yeah, artist. I'm the hardest out the South since slavery. I just don't understand why a black man would say that under any circumstance. I just don't understand that. I was mad at Future when he said some referencing it, but we don't expect Future to be a person with sense. We never expected that from Future, and we expected that from J. Cole. So yeah, when he said that, I was like, wow. I was kind of floored. And he said it like to be the punch of the entire freestyle. Like that's what you want to leave us with? That you're the hardest shit out the South since slavery? That's crazy as fuck coming from J. Cole. J. Cole said some wild shit. On the intro to Born Center, he said, I don't mean no disrespect whenever I say blank, okay, blank. You know what I mean? Like using homosexual slurs, like just it's just weird, you know what I mean? And um that don't make or break you as an artist, but it's just like why the fuck would you say that? Um nah, yeah, he but bro, we know Future was on we know he was on the we know he was on the his bus was a little shorter. It was catered. You know what I mean? He had a class that he sat in all day and they offered him a very curated lesson plan and he might have been 21, 22 when he graduated from high school. Let me go through some of these comments. Per Gen X, um, please like the stream, please. Um, all contributions of the financial sort are greatly appreciated, but it's not required. Um, so the least you could do, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Let's get it to. Let's try to get it to 150. It's 171 in the room. Let's get it to 150. That's all I ask. Emotional connection, program language. Shout out to PG Lane. Um, and shout out to Takia for the comment. Let me see. From Stella, he just needs to be completely honest with himself first. I'm assuming she's talking about Cole, and I don't feel he's done that, at least not to the degree to create a classic during the process. No, um, because I think J. Cole got out of the way, and I understand that, but I don't think he's growing while he's out of the way. I just think he's out of the way. You know what I mean? And that can create an echo chamber where it can also turn into arrested development. Like you're not challenging yourself, so you're not growing. You know what I mean? Like let's say you go to the gym every day, but you lifting the same amount of weight every day. You're not gonna get stronger. You may consistently be in the gym, like you may be able to rep that a lot, but your strength isn't gonna grow because you're not challenging yourself enough. You're not tearing the muscles. And I think the amount of self reflection that Kendrick would have to do to write a song like You or Feel or Fear, I don't think J. Cole is doing that. And if he is, he's not doing it in a way that he can turn into art. And if he do, he's rapping about it in weird, incoherent ways, and it's not clear. It's not completing the thought. Because I think my biggest issue with J. Cole on Forest Hills Drive is I just don't think he's nailing home the concepts that he's creating. And that's a big part of music, man. You got to be able to land the plane. That's a big part of conversation, period. Like when people say, "Can I land? Can I land?" and they never land, like it kind of takes away the steam from the entire argument or the entire point that you're making if your point doesn't connect. Now I just want to make sure I got all the super chats. Um, Okay, shout out to K Way for the super chat. In my opinion, Kendrick is incapable of making empty music. I can argue that To Pimp a Butterfly and Mr. Morale are two of the most important albums. Um, Good Kid, Messy, The Damn, and GNX are classics. DMX, Dot are top three influential ever. Mm, I'm not gonna run away from that. Um, I think so. Especially for what we want hip hop to be. Like DMX would pray at the concert. You know what I mean? Like his music was very authentic. It was very um intimate with the listener. Don't get me wrong. DMX was on that nut shit too. You know what I mean? But DMX made sure that he revealed who he was in his music, and that's the most important part. You got to reveal who you are in the music you make, and that's what makes your music, when people hear it, like, that's what make people cry and shit when they see you, because what you said hit them in a way that could possibly change their life. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and it's not to brag on me, not to brag on us at all as a channel, but I've had comments where people say stuff like that. And it's just like, damn, you know what I mean? Like me and DJ just being authentic could lead to a middle-aged father, his wife, and his daughter sitting listening to us and growing and learning from that. Just from us being authentic and sharing, what we've been through, you know, without the intent, to be praised or anything like that, just to be able to speak our truth, you know what I'm saying? But you have to be willing to put everything to the forefront to do that. It's scary. Some people see it as dangerous because it could change how people look at you. And I think um, when you shed that fear and you're willing to um, make yourself available in the attempt to touch other people, that's when you get the best result. But let me go to this other super chat. D2B2 said, forget about letting Nas down. Cole let Skip down. He did. But it's always room for redemption. It's always room for redemption. Um, I don't know if I'll ever agree with a lot of the stuff he did, as far as like backing out and then trying to rewrite history and shit. But I think if he make a classic album, I'll be able to celebrate that. I'll be able to authentically celebrate that. Okay, unapologetic. I appreciate the community we are building in here. Absimony, Read My Soul, etc. I'm glad you brought him up. Um, I'm doing a reaction. I don't know if I said it already, but I'm doing a reaction to his most recent video about Act being a double agent tomorrow. And that'll be what I put up tomorrow for the Cypher Saturdays before our live stream. And I may put up a freestyle reaction. So be on the lookout for that. And they'll generally be between 4:30 and 6. So y'all had an opportunity to watch those before we go live. DJ in the chat. Oh, DJ in the chat. Let me see. Okay. Shout out to DJ. Shout out to my brother, man. DMX second calling was definitely mentioned. I agree. He moves me every time he speaks. So much passion and conviction. Man, he one of the albums that me and DJ were listening to on the road to 100. I can't remember. Was it Conway? It was one of them albums. DMX got a feature, or was it Todd or Joyner Lucas? It was one of them albums. I can't remember. But bro just started praying out of nowhere. Like he don't even have a verse for real. He just talking and praying. And it's just like that shit was more important than anything that Joyner or whoever it was said on that entire album. On that entire album. Because it's coming from a place, man. It's coming from a place. And that's the best art when it comes from a real place, man. Shout out to DJ for jumping in the chat, man. I thought you was having, you know what I'm saying? That's why I ain't asked, because you said you had to, you had something to do. Oh, okay, it was Jordan Lucas. Shout out to DJ. But yeah, it always lasts longer and sticks with you more when it actually means something. That's when it means more. Let me see. Gen X said, facts. Oh, okay, shoot. Okay, talking about watching the Philly crash news. But I'm good. Okay, yeah. Rest in peace to the people who were lost in the Philadelphia crash, along with the crash last night with the helicopter hit the plane. It's like whatever happened, like people were lost. So most definitely rest in peace to those people lost, man. Like don't let what's going on with the politics and shit and how they trying to politicize the accident and all that. Don't let that get in the way of realizing that people didn't go home last night or people not going home tonight. Like that's some like lives were lost. That shit is serious, man. That shit is always serious. We only get one. We only get one of these. So anytime one is lost, man, it just hits. It should just hit different, man. Especially when people like take that as an opportunity to use it to further an agenda. Like it should fuck you up, man. Shout out to Habitual Line Stepper 69 for the gifted disciple memberships. Real quick, while I got y'all in here, I posted something on the member side today, and I was letting them know that we're going to do a restructuring of the paid tier system because the paid tiers that's in there are just the ones that were automatically generated by YouTube. Because from the moment we monetized in May of last year, maybe June of last year, we had one member. Shout out to Marquita if she's in here. Marquita Bynum. She was our lone member for months at a time. And then it ended up being two more people. And so I told Marquita at the time, I was like, I'm sorry, like I appreciate you sticking with us, but if you want to just go over to Patreon because that's where we putting out our content. Like it's so much work behind the scenes repurposing content to put it over on YouTube when it's only one person in there. So I was like, do that. So I never went in and updated. And then next thing you know, Gen X is gifting memberships and all this other shit. And then we do the live streams and people start joining the memberships through that. So I look up and we got 50 members. But I never went back and edited and built out the tier system. So with that being said, I need to go in and put that together so it matches the Patreon system. So I think the tiers on YouTube is $1.99, $3.99, and $10.99. And the $1.99 will stay the same because we have a $2 tier on Patreon, and it's just the show love tier. Like you get early access to videos, and you get to be a part of the community on Patreon and YouTube members. But that's pretty much about it. And then we have a $7 tier and a $14 tier. So I'll just be adjusting and updating it to match that. You know what I mean? Like it ain't nothing crazy. I just don't want the Patreon side to be paying more while the YouTube side is getting the same shit. Like, you know what I mean? That's not fair to the decoders who paying their dues, and it's not fair to me, or it's not fair to y'all as the YouTube to be getting a condensed version um, of what we create, because we're not creating it to be to pigeonhole it to a point where nobody can watch it, because that defeats the purpose. I just want to have it set up to where everybody's on the same accord and nobody feel like they're being cheated. So like I said in the post, if it's to a point where you feel like, yeah, I can't do 7 or I can't do 14, and you just decide to do the 2, that's perfectly fine. If you just feel like you want to catch the episodes when they come out normally, that's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. Bro, we was doing this for free. You know what I'm saying? We were doing it for free. Um, so every nickel, every penny, every like that we get, excuse me, hold on real quick. Excuse me. Every like that we get, um, bruh, I've cried over the outpouring of support that y'all have given us. And I ain't saying that to be facetious or nothing like that. Like when Euphoria first hit, like that string of emotions that I went through, because it wasn't intended for that. It was just like, let me do this to cover some space. So by the time me and DJ link back up, hopefully we'll begin some traction because we weren't creating content at the time. So yeah, man, everything that happened from the release of that to forward, bro, I can't tell y'all like the amount of emotion and just so much and learning and growing that I've went through, and I'm sure DJ has as well. In the last 7 to 8 months, you know what I'm saying? So, bro, you just being here is a blessing to me. Like anything other than that, and you hitting like is a plus. So whatever you can contribute is beautiful. Whether that's just your time, because I understand how valuable that is. Whether that's a like, a comment, a share, all of that is important. Anything beyond that is a plus. You feel what I'm saying? So don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to grift. I just want everything to be fair. You feel what I'm saying? So let me check out these super chats. Let me see. Oh, I didn't even finish the D2B2, the $50 one. My bad, bro. I kind of stopped at the golf on Cole. I got on a whole diatribe after that. But shout out to Big Crit. I wish that he had a better career. The industry and culture failed him. I think he can bounce back. I agree with everything you said into that last part. I don't know if he can't per se. I think it'll be extremely hard because I feel like he's at a point now where I think he feels like he's on his legacy portion, where now he's just trying to cater to the fan base that he's built that's still with him. I don't think he even has the eyes on finding a way to succeed on the mass level again. Because I think when people decide who you are, it don't matter how good your project is. Wale done put out like 4 extremely good projects in a row. In a row. And people still just see Wale as where he at. Like if we was grading it on merit, Schoolboy Q will have him and Kendrick will be battling it out for album of the year at the Grammys this year. Wale would have at least one album of the year Grammy. You know what I mean? And there would be a conversation about, is Wale in the big 3? And does he have one of the best discographies of the blog era? But it just don't work like that. Sadly enough, all we can do is support them as much as we can. Um, and that's what I want to do here. And that's what I want y'all to leave from here um, taking a hold to, is whoever you support. You know what I mean? As far as artists, purchase their music, man. Go see them, because that's how they're able to stay around. That's how they're able to take time and be creative if they know it's gonna be a return on the hard work they putting in. You know what I mean? Like when I went to see Rhapsody on her Please Don't Cry tour, I think it made her feel fulfilled that she was able to spend that time and craft that body of work and be appreciated the way she was. When the industry won't push her, but she know we as fans showed up for her. So so yeah, we gotta support the artist, bro. We got to. I already read the K.R.I.T one. Here go another D2B2. He is the official sponsor of today's chat, and he's been the sponsor of the chat prior. Um, so I gotta treat you like a member. Like anytime you post a comment, I gotta pull it up like a super chat. I saw the careful consideration of Cole. I get it. He's one of those guys that might never be what you want them to be as a person or artist. I get it. And that's tough, man, because you want them to. Like I saw that. Like I feel like I saw that level of evolution for Cole. He just never got to it. And that's tough as a fan, bro. It's like I thought he was going I thought he was gonna shake some shit up, man. And it just didn't happen. I already shouted out Habitual Line Stepper with the donations for the gifted membership. Shout out to you again. Um, D2B's, man, look, hey, throw some W's and just some love to D2B2 in the chat. Please, please, please. Wait a minute, hold up. We need your dissection of that Mick Jenkins trap, War and Rumors of War. Okay, okay. Me and DJ will do that. Me and DJ will do that. That'll be out. That'll be out sometime in February. We'll do that. We'll do that because that's out of all of the tracks that came out through the beef, and I haven't heard everything. That's my favorite one by far. And if you have not heard Mick Jenkins, look him up. Look him up. Mick Jenkins got that pen. Mick Jenkins got that pen that if I'm Joey Badass, I'm not responding to. I'm not responding to at all. Shout out to Slade. We appreciate the real salute for sure, man. I'm just trying to be honest, man, and be myself, man. And I know DJ be like, bro, the biggest compliment that they give us is that we authentic, or that they see us as authentic. And I'd be like, I 100% agree, man, because you know what I'm saying, we ain't doing this shit for no clout, bro. And now, since you said that, I want to talk about the integrity piece after I finish with this. Um, Shout out to Miss Mia for the super chat. Y'all deserve it all. I greatly appreciate that, man. So does everybody in the chat, for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? Long as we stay aligned, we deserve everything that God got in store for us. You know what I mean? I appreciate that. Shout out to you for the super chat. Back to the sponsor. That's a depressing thought. But how about Killer Mike? He won a Grammy at his advanced age. That's I don't think he was at a point where he wasn't redeemable. I just think he had a longer road. Um, but he also said he put almost $1 million into that album too. So when you look at it from that perspective, and he campaigned heavily for those Grammys, and he got everything that he deserved from that. I just don't think Big Crit is willing to invest that amount into himself as far as a album. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, Killer Mike made a great fucking album. A great fucking album. You know what I mean? So I don't it's not that I don't think Crit has the talent to do it. It's just a lot of things that come together. Like Killer Mike was let me lift my seat up. Hold on. Killer Mike was the label. He became the label for that album because he had so much faith in it. Like he was paying artists for features and paying the producers out of his own pocket. He did the press run out of his own pocket. I just don't think Crit is willing to go to that depth um, to push an album again. Shout out to Dre for the super chat. Cole had a hand on the culture, but didn't quite feel the pulse like Kenny. You gonna take X spot. It's time to switch the algorithm. You blessed, man. I appreciate that. I got something I want to talk about that. I'm glad that y'all said those, like you and um it was you and somebody else. But I'm glad that y'all said that. I want to talk to y'all about integrity real quick. Let me open up the comments. Mike definitely deserved the Grammys. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there is a music industry portion to this thing. You have to actively campaign for a Grammy. All artists campaign for Grammys. And that's why when they lose or when they don't win or when they don't get considered, they get pissed about it because you actually have to put a foot forward to be considered for the Grammys. Like that's where you start to see the stuff on Instagram or Twitter or whatever the case, and they be like, "Thank you for your consideration." Those artists are actively campaigning for the Grammys. Um, they submit it first, and then they, campaign to be among those actually considered for those nominations. So there is kind of like a class president type election cycle that you have to go in to be considered for a Grammy nom, like on top of all of the criteria that they have to actually be a winner. You know what I mean? Um, but I want to talk to y'all about integrity real quick. Okay. So, and this is something that I want to extend to the people who don't necessarily want to pay for new content, but want to be a part of the conversations we're having outside of the content. If you download the Patreon app and you become a free member, the chat is available to everybody who's a member. You don't have to pay to be a part of the chat. And since I'm too afraid and too busy, honestly, to start a Discord, I feel like that chat will be the grounds for a lot of conversations that we have when we're not on stream and when we're not, posting content. So I said it to say, shameless plug to join the Patreon as a free member, not as a paid member, as a free member. you have access to the chat that we have, and you can get in there and we can speak our mind. Because I kind of want that to be a secondary hub for a lot of conversations we have. Because I can do that while I'm at work or whatever the case is, as opposed to having to go live. Um, and we can have a lot of conversation and just build a further community from that. Shout out to Slade for putting the link in the chat. Um, at first it was open just to the paid members, but I was like, nah, let me open that up because it's just words. You know what I mean? It's not anything exclusive. So anybody can come in that chat once you become a free member to the Patreon. You can come in there. But I want to have this conversation real quick before it gets too late because it's already 10 and I don't want to keep y'all for 3-4 hours when I got to come back tomorrow. So I don't want to fuck up the bag for tomorrow as far as like getting into topics for tomorrow. But um okay. So I was in the chat and I was in the Deciphered Patreon chat yesterday, right? And we were talking about academics. And one of the people in there said it's time for him to get off his seat and it's time for somebody else to come into that position. And somebody was like, you guys should be that person. And then we got on the topic of being paid from the labels to do certain things because that's what Ack was saying when he was in his crash out the other day. He's not gonna do things for labels now. He's gonna up his price or whatever the case is. And I asked the question, I was like, would you guys support us if y'all found out that we were taking money from labels to react to certain songs? And that created a very interesting conversation. So I want y'all to answer it real quick with a Y for yes or N for no. Would y'all still support this channel if y'all found out that we were taking money behind closed doors from labels to react to as I said, behind closed doors to react to certain artists and to speak on them favorably? How would y'all feel about that? It's a part of the story. I can wait. And this, shout out to Marcus Fernandez. And this is a very important part of the conversation. Very important. Very important. When we were having a conversation yesterday, I said verbatim, I told them at some point that becomes a conflict of interest because if the label sees you big enough to be a voice, they see you as important enough to try to control. So with that being said, we would never do that. But the conversation that we were having was so interesting to me because it was kind of split, kind of like it is. Well, it's not super split here. It's kind of like 70-30 no. But it was a conversation about how could it possibly be beneficial to the brand and keep our integrity, like maybe if we got paid to be objective. But the thing is, if they see you speaking in a way that isn't conducive to that isn't in a conducive manner to help them grow their artists, they're not going to keep paying you. So I was like, no, it's no way that can work because at that point our integrity is for sale, and that's not what we got in this for, and that's not at all what I saw myself doing in 2017 when I was coming up with all of this stuff. You know what I mean? So I don't think under any circumstance I would take money to react. Like my best friend was like, "Hey, bro, I got an album coming up. I want to pay you to react to it." I was like, "No, save that money and invest it. Save that money and invest it, bro. Why would I? Why would I take that? Because at that point, I don't know if I can be objective. And how would you feel if you sent me a project and I'm reviewing it and it hits max visibility and I don't like it? Like, do you still like? How do you feel? It's almost like you paid me to shit on your music in front of people. That's not what you giving me the money for. You giving me the money to help improve your visibility. And if people come to me for my opinion, some people might take what I say and run with it. And I understand that. Not everybody will, but some people be like, you know what, that shit ain't good. Or it might be like, I might be like, this is the best shit I done heard in 5 years. And they be like, you know what, it is. So at that point, the expected exchange is to, improve the standing of their artist, um, regardless of how it's presented. So to get to the point of what I'm saying with all of this is, I got an email last week. I won't tell y'all from who explicitly, but I will say this. It was a management firm for, let's say, independent artists, that said that they specialized in YouTube rights, and that they had a series of, well, a group of artists, a roster, if you will, that they highlighted in the email. And they was like, hey man, check this out. And I'm paraphrasing. Hey, matter of fact, let me pull up the email. This shit is important because it's so much. It's so much that you go through on this side that we don't really discuss. But I want to share this with y'all because it's extremely important. And I'm gonna just read the beginning. It said, "Hey Skip," because I was tripping. I was like, "How the fuck do they know my name?" No, it wasn't Dreamville. I can't say that. I don't. They're not as big as Dreamville. They say, "Hope everything. I mean, hope you're doing well. This is blank from blank blank services team. We specialize in YouTube rights management, and we work with top independent artists and labels like blank, blank blank blank, blank 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 across multiple genres. I'm reaching out because we want to support your work. If you can react to our roster, we can ensure no disputes on your channel, i.e., free monetization. We know how frustrating it can be to spend hours creating and editing a video only to face copyright claims that block monetization. That's why my team is keen to work more closely with awesome reactors such as yourself and support the ability to react to top artists in the space without worrying about copyright claims. If this sounds interesting, let me know. I love to find time to chat. What y'all think about that? What y'all think about that? Yes, Sam, man. They're offering me the ability to react to artists on their roster, whatever the fuck that means, for in return that they whitelist those videos so we can make money off of the reactions. It's very coded. Shout out to dropping knowledge bombs. It's very coded. I'm gonna tell you straight up. I took that shit as disrespect. I took it as disrespect. Shout out to Gen X. They want to buy your audience. They don't even want to buy them. They didn't even offer bread. They like, hey, if you do it, if you react to these people, we'll let you make the money you would have made. We're not paying you directly. We cool with letting YouTube pay you. And Shout out to Chris the Bonnie Man. That lets me know reactors get paid from labels. Um, there has been a very popular reactor who's already admitted to that. He already admitted to it. I won't say his name. This is another important question. I'm gonna talk about this in a second, Dre. So I'm gonna keep this up. I'm gonna keep that comment up just like it's a super chat. I took it as disrespect. Anytime somebody comes to you and presents you with a solution to a problem you never spoke on having, they are looking to get over on you. They're looking to get over on you. That person told me, I want to help you. So if you listen to the people I got on roster for you to listen to, I'm gonna let you make your little YouTube money. What? What? You know how, bro? I cannot. The level of disrespect I felt from that shit, bro. I felt so fucking disrespected because you told me that, hey, I know you ain't making no bread. I know you ain't making no bread. I know you ain't got shit going on. So I'm a co-opt your channel. I believe that you're willing to sell the integrity of your channel to the masses for the little bread that you can get reacting. And I'm gonna tell y'all like this. The money that we've made from y'all showing love in these live streams has been the amount of money that we got in super chats in December is more than the biggest month that we made at any point in time during the reaction cycle for the beef. Any point in time. We had the first check that I got from YouTube was a 4-digit check, right? And that came from all of the reactions that I did before I could get DJ in the studio. That was from Not Like Us, earlier parts of Euphoria, before the sample clearance caused it to get demonetized again. Meet the Grams, Family Matters, Part 6, all of that. Once we finally was able to get monetized, because we weren't monetized when the beef started. So I missed money at the beginning. But that first check was a 4-digit check. Not high 4 digits, nothing like that. The first month of us actively live streaming topped that with just 2 live streams. The next month in January, topped that again. Y'all have showed us that just with the support that y'all give us, that it ain't, bro, we was doing this shit for free. What the fuck I look like selling the brand for the ability to make a couple $100? Bro, those reactions all together have well over 1 million views. The analytics on the back end, that shit might be 1,000. It might be $1 1,000 views. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's low. It might be $2 1,000. You do 1,000,005. That's 1,500, 1,800, $2,000. You know what I'm saying? We hit that in 2 months from y'all showing support and showing love. I said it to say, bro, I am never going to sell out. I talked to DJ on the phone today. He like, I'm not with that shit, bro. I'm not with that shit, bro. Integrity first. Like in the first line of comments that we got when Euphoria came out, people was like, we fuck with y'all being authentic. We fuck with y'all being authentic. When DJ finally came on and we started doing the beef breakdowns, like the lyrics, it's like, bro, y'all are authentic. We fuck with that. We fuck with that. Y'all stay authentic. I don't give a fuck what y'all say about how we break down lyrics. y'all like we have been received in this space because we authentic and we give our true selves, organic thoughts. And that's why to this day I do not react on a video that I already seen. I've had people ask me for months, hey man, can you react to Not Like Us video? I'm sorry, I already seen it. I already seen it. I can't do it. I'm not able to lie like that. My wife tell me all the time, you're not a good liar, bro. You're not a good liar. So I'm not gonna be able to get that shit off. And my conscience won't let me do it. You feel what I'm saying? So like I'm not finna lie to y'all, bro. Like, cause truth be told, we not reactors. We're not reactors, bro. Like, I just have been a fan and studying hip hop so much and watching um like went in and watching battle rap and just learning all the mechanics. Like I write raps. Like I got 3 albums worth of shit in my phone. Like I'm really about this shit. And so is DJ. So that goes into when we hear a song for the first time, we can pick up on shit quick. Like this shit just come with practice, bro. This shit just come with practice, bro. It come with practice. It come with so much time being attentive to the craft. Like I don't know if y'all have went back. I know a lot of y'all have, but if you haven't, we have like 15, 20 album reviews that came out before we got to the reactions. Like that's what we were doing. So I said it to say, to answer this question, Dre, does the music fit the brand? Hell the fuck no. I started looking up the artist today, probably about an hour before I went on stream, because I felt like it was important for me to at least look. Because I wasn't gonna do it, but something was telling me, because I got this, it might be a problem where I just gotta see some shit through all the way. You feel what I'm saying? So I started looking up the artist. I'm gonna tell y'all the name of one of the artists. I'm gonna tell y'all the name of one of the artists. He goes by the name of Tom McDonald. I don't know if y'all know who Tom McDonald is. Tom McDonald is. Fam of full-blooded racist. Full-blooded. Bruh dropped a song with Roseanne Barr talking about it's like a Trump victory song. It's a Trump victory song. No, yeah, MAC Donald, Tom McDonald. You feel what I'm saying? Like that was one of the people that they were promoting in the email. I didn't know who he was. The only person that I knew from the email was Harry Mack, because I know him from freestyling, like on Sway in the Morning and stuff like that. But the other people I didn't know. So I started looking them up to have an understanding of what the fuck was going on. So I played the first Tom McDonald song, and it's featuring Roseanne, and they rapping about Trump winning the election and he everybody daddy and all of this other shit. And shout out to the white people watching, because this ain't about all white people. But the white people that was in that video don't fuck with us. They do not fuck with us. They do not fuck with us. The intention of that video has the energy of people who don't want to fuck with us and would be extremely happy if we did not exist. You feel what I'm saying? And he's able to say that shit without saying it. So I got this first email January the 24th, and I didn't know. I was on the way to get my son from school today with my wife, and I was driving, and I was in my phone, and I shouldn't have been, but I was in my phone. And somehow they emailed me again today. And when the email today came through, the whole thread popped up. So they had emailed me 3 times. And the last one was just about, hey man, I know you might be busy, but reach back out. We would love to have a time to chat. So I didn't know about the previous 2 emails. So I went and pulled it up. And the first email was the one that I just read y'all. So after I read it for the 3rd or 4th time, I felt disrespected as fuck. And then I started looking at the artist and I felt even more disrespected. Cause I'm like, ain't no way that you watch this channel and watch the shit that we talked about and you felt like on any level that Tom McDonald was organic to this brand. Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no fucking way, bro. I don't give a fuck if that video, if that reaction got 10 million views and got whitelisted. It ain't worth what we building here. It ain't worth what we building here. I'm not gonna drop the name of of the brand that sent the email. I ain't gonna do that. It's just a level of tech I'm not willing to do that. But I I just I am willing to tell y'all that much, that they thought that this brand was so easily compromised that me and DJ would sit down and react to videos of blatant racism and white nationalism in support of a fascist government to make a few dollars. And we ain't with that shit. We not with that shit. The brand, that shit didn't represent what we do. That shit don't represent what we stand for. That shit don't represent where I came from. It don't represent where I'm going, and it don't represent what I see y'all as. We built this shit off of being intelligent, being thought provoking, however you feel about that, but being black men first and foremost. You feel what I'm saying? So we wasn't ever going for no shit like that. I don't give a fuck who it is. I'm probably one of the top, I'm in the top 5 percentile Kendrick Lamar fans. Somebody asked me, they was like, hey, bro, you already know if top them call, bro, you gonna fold and do what they ask you to do. No, the fuck I'm not. No, I'm not, bro. I fuck with TDE. I've invested thousands of dollars in TDE. Like if we talk about concerts and purchasing albums and shit like that, like I've seen Kendrick maybe 7 times. I've bought at least 4. I got all of his albums purchased. I just bought GNX. It just ain't got here yet. I got merch. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm financially invested into his success as an artist. But I wouldn't let that dictate how I conduct myself. I wouldn't let a a potential collaboration lead to me corrupting myself as far as integrity goes, because it's hip hop first. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I gotta cut the lights off in this room after I turn the camera off and lay my head on my bed and be able to say I accept the role that I took in the furtherance or holding back of the culture. You feel what I'm saying? So nah, man, I'm I'm not going for that. DJ not going for that. Um, and I wouldn't never try to present that in a way to dress it up to y'all to make it seem like that's some shit we finna even try to do. And I saw somebody earlier was talking about independence. Let me see if it was a super chat. Oh shit. Um, hold on. I got a few super chats. Okay. Oh, shout out to Andrew. Shout out to Andrew Franks. He's one of the day one uh Dakotas, one of the day one Patreon subscribers. And we have an episode on there that is coming out within the next week or two that was produced solely by him. He gave us all of the topics that we discussed. And that's a great episode. I wish all of the people could watch it for free, but that's one of the things that we holding for our paid subscribers. So once we realign it on the YouTube side, it'll go over. And it'll be available for the patrons within the next couple of weeks. I still haven't sat down to edit it yet, was an amazing episode. But he said, I've been listening quietly, just wanting to log in and pay respect. Keep doing what you do. Thank you very much, man. We've had a lot of conversations, me and Andrew, behind the scenes. Um, like I feel like if I'm in his city, we're gonna have to pull up and have like a, even if it's a water, we gotta sit down and just talk. You know what I'm saying? Like talk, journalism, talk rap, talk life. You feel what I'm saying? Like I feel like a big part of what we're doing is fostering community. And yeah, man, Andrew has been instrumental in the last month or so in what we do as a brand. So I want to give a special shout out to him. D2B2, you the man. I know that you're not taking money from labels, but if you were, I'd pay you because that's some crazy acting. Um, yeah, man, I couldn't do it, man. Couldn't do it. Um, under any circumstance, because at that point, you work for the label, and anything that the label puts out, they intend to get back in a way that makes them look better than they did before. So if they not just finna pay me to be like, hey man, whatever you say, that's cool with us. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. Um, but yeah, man, I feel like we'll find our way to make it work. I feel like the Patreon is doing well. The members is starting to progress, which is great because that was unexpected. Um, hence the post I sent out earlier today. Y'all be showing the utmost love in the live streams. So we're gonna keep doing these weekly. We didn't get to do one last week. I can't remember what happened. It just didn't work out. And yeah, we depending on how the Super Bowl goes, we might go live right after the Super Bowl halftime show. So y'all might get 2 live streams 2 weeks in a row. Um, and I think I got a email from APSA while I was on stream. So we might have another collab coming. And depending on how Read My Soul feels about my reaction that I haven't done yet, that might be a possible collaboration to come in the future as well. Because like I said, man, it's about building camaraderie and connectivity within the space and just having those level of conversations so y'all can view them and give y'all input and we can build this shit together. Uh-oh, Gen X said, shout out to Gen X for the super chat. She said, you and DJ are family now. Don't sell out on us. Absolutely not. I promise you I'll quit this shit um, before I turn into a person that's not aligned with who I was when I started. I swear to God. You ain't got to worry about that. It's not like I can't be bought, bro. Like I feel like the one thing of many that I learned from Joe Budden, outside of not sleepwalking butt ass naked, um, but one of the things I learned from Joe Budden is be vertically integrated. Um, be independent. That way you can set your own price. That way, the only people that you're beholden to is the people that you give yourself to, as far as your audience and your community. We're doing this shit for y'all, man. We're doing this shit for y'all, and no other reason than us loving what we do. Like the money shit is a plus. You know what I'm saying? Like I was able to take off because I knew one way or another the money that I was missing from the shift will make its way back. And whether that be me grinding out tomorrow and making 6 reactions, um, and that working its way out in the long run, or whatever the case is, you know what I'm saying? Like I got faith in y'all because y'all got faith in us. And that's more important than anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause our biggest video on the channel is an Eminem video. We'll probably never react to another Eminem video. I mean, another piece of Eminem content because of what came with it. Like somebody else said in the comments, all money ain't good money, bro. All views ain't good views. Like it was more comments in that video of people trying to tear us down because we was 2 black men who weren't swinging from Eminem nuts than people even giving us just props of, hey man, good camera quality or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like so much negative energy came from them 2 Eminem videos we did. So much. We'll never I there will never be another Eminem reaction on this channel just because of that. So if I'm not willing to do that, definitely not finna sell out. Definitely not finna sell out. Shout out to Gen X again for all you do as a mod, for all the love you show and for the super chat. Shout out to D2B2. He's going stupid crazy right now. Say twin. Say twin. Fuck you got going on, twin. You got a bottomless pit, man. Bag stupid. What kind of bag you in, man? That whole gotta be Damiel, man. That Duffy is deep as fuck. Oh, D2B2, shout out to you for the super chat. Shout out to the Queen, Gen X Gemini for sure. She has been in this hip hop discourse space here and other channels, moderating, supporting, and being hospitable. Shout out to you. That's a fact, man. Real quick. I think that's the claps. I don't have on headphones, but wanted to give a round of applause to Gen X, man, because she has been holding it down. And anywhere that you can find some hip hop shit going on, you might run into Gen X in the chat. I came across her in the Absa on one of Absa streams, and man, she been showing us love like she know us personally this entire time. So you know what I'm saying? My undying gratitude goes to you for that. Um, Shout out to Slade. I did it with integrity, and niggas still try to hate on me. Just wait and see. More blood be spilling. It's just paint to me for real, bro. Like I've I've had some personal interactions that reveal that too. Um, Real life back home. So it's crazy how that worked though. So we just gonna keep doing what we're doing, man. Um, Steady and moving forward, however that goes. God dang, D2B2. What you got going on, baby? D2B2 with the super chat. Big time, $100. Shout out to the authenticity. That's exactly why we all subscribe and remain loyal. And as long as y'all do that, we're gonna remain loyal, bro. We're gonna remain loyal to y'all. I did um the Mac Miller reaction. I put it out the other day. It got blocked worldwide. So when it finally went out, it got throttled by the YouTube algorithm. So if y'all like Mac Miller, or if y'all fuck with me, please go watch that. I gained nothing from it outside of y'all seeing it, because of course it's demonetized because it's a state don't play that shit, which I understand. Um, but it was a good album, and just for the love of hip hop, go check that out. Um, go check that out. But yeah, man, as long as y'all hold us down, bro, we gonna continue to do this shit. And even if y'all go, bro, it's probably still gonna be videos coming out because we just love this shit, man. We was doing it when videos was getting 100 views. We're gonna do them when they get 100 million views, God willing. Inshallah, we're gonna keep it going, man. Like, cause we feel like there there's a spot in this space for us to exist, and we saw that all we had to do was be seen. You know what I mean? We invested thousands of dollars to get us to the point where it's presentable. So all we got to do is continue to do what we doing. You feel what I'm saying? The lights on, the cameras on, the mics, they're available. We just got to continue to show up and do what we do. Um, Shout out to Slade. It says shout out to the white people watching. Skip with the quotables, man, because I don't be want to offend nobody, bro. I want to be able to tell the truth. I want to be able to tell the truth, but I don't want to offend nobody if it's not necessary. But I'm definitely gonna tell the truth as much as possible. The Bear said, "Hey man, what you just said is the main thing that made me subscribe and support y'all. Past the reactions, no nonsense, black men with integrity. And the moment that we fall out of alignment with that, let us know for real. Because that's because, like I said, that's number one on the list. Integrity and authenticity. Like the actual music shit and how we process it is a byproduct of us being authentic and having integrity. You feel what I'm saying? There's certain shit that could get us farther that we won't do because of integrity. And that's the point that I was trying to get to with all of the other shit. And I want to tell y'all the email that I sent today after I went through all that shit with them. I said, hey, I reviewed some of the artists you mentioned in the email and I have to decline. Their views don't align with our brand or baseline ideologies. Thanks for the consideration, but we won't be further in a relationship. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to sound cliche, but we live this hip hop shit, bro. Like, we don't get to take this off. Like, we don't get to take this off. We don't get to consume it at our leisure and be like, yeah, yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That shit brought us some bread this month. Like, no, bro. Like, this hip hop shit is really us. Like, this is really our culture. Like, we built this shit, bro. Like, we as black people built this shit, and it doesn't just originate in the '70s. Like, the heartbeat is the drum. You feel what I'm saying? Like, black black existence is the heartbeat to hip hop. You can't. This shit don't go without us, bro. This shit don't go without us. You know what I'm saying? So we just got to keep it being positive and progressive. That's the only way this shit gonna grow. And I feel like I saw a huge void in the space with a lot of people who didn't look like us commenting on what the fuck we got going on. I remember I was a huge fan of Pitchfork in like 2015. And it got to a point I was like, bro, they don't understand us. They don't understand us. I was watching somebody else who I won't name, and they was talking about some shit from Kendrick Lamar back in the day. And they was trying to um break down a certain lyric from a song. And I was like, they completely don't understand. Um they're missing the point. Now, um always in my some of them don't. I think, but the people that I'm referring to, they were trying. It's just if you don't get the dialect, you can't translate it. We speak in a language that they will never be able to translate unless they grow up in this shit with us. You you can't you can't just walk in to a culture and just because you start to mimic some of the shit that they do, mean you understand the culture. I got a question. Put this in the chat. If we out somewhere and you see somebody running, what you do? If you see somebody running in a crowd, what you do? All right, then we getting the fuck up out of there because we don't want to be the ones to find out what happened. We do not want to be the ones that find out what happened. Um, T. Fran said, "I like Anthony Fantano, but I did not vibe with his Gen X album reaction. Him and his co-host didn't have much to say at all." Um, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go watch that because I know he's spoken extremely highly on Kendrick. And I did watch his Meet the Grams reaction. I watched that live, I think. Well, it wasn't live because I was doing mine, but I watched the replay version of his live reaction. I feel like he has a lot of positive things to say, so that kind of throws me off that he didn't have much to say. I might have to go and watch that. Uh, Let me ask another black thing. What we eating at the repass? What we eating at the repass? I want to see what y'all I want to see how black y'all is. Oh, okay, so he did like it. He just didn't get a lot of the cultural nuance. Here we go. Here we go. Hey, Tequila, this the one. This the one right here, baby. This the one. I have been to So many, not so many. I've been to my share of repasses. I've been to my church services that extend um beyond just the normal church service where you end up eating after. And this is it. Fried chicken and green beans. That's it. She won. Skill one. That's it. Now if you go crazy and you get to like um the repass where it's like multiple things going around, you start to get the mac and cheese and the Hawaiian rolls, and you might get you some cake. You might get you some cake. Now this potato salad, it be available like if it's some like if it's that part of the family that the decedent, God rest their soul, had a little bit of bread. Cause you know at that one, somebody had to take time and sit and craft all the shit out and make all these dishes. Somebody like that's gonna be from scratch potato salad. You that ain't getting bought nowhere. That ain't getting bought nowhere. That's at a special type of repast that they have at an event center. You ain't getting the potato salad at the church. You getting the potato salad at the event center of the repast. Let me see. I want to ask y'all one thing. Y'all doing pretty good. Y'all doing pretty good. Let me see. If I want to ask y'all one that's kind of hard. Hmm. If you got left at home on the weekend, who could you open the door for? And who normally popped up? Who always tended to pop up when your folks was gone? That was always trying to get in the house. Now this for my people who grew up a certain kind of way, so y'all might not get this one. I talked about it in a previous live. That cousin that's still that one uncle, best in neighbor. Those are good, but I was finna say the renter furniture people. They always pull up when your mama be gone or when your daddy be gone. It's like they know that it's like they wait for them to go because they feel like the kid gonna open the door and let them come in and take the furniture. My bruh, you know what my mama would do to me if she come here and the couch is gone? Nigga, you better take me with you if the couch is gone. The rent man too. That's a fact. Do not because they always come on Saturday. They never show up when your folks there. Never. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, child service, like shit like that. You know not to you they always showing up and you better answer the fucking door. But okay, I got one. Um I want y'all to finish this one. Finish this phrase. One fight. Nah, if one fight, if one fight, we all fight. If one fight, we all fight. I just wanted to make sure y'all was tapped in. I just wanted to make sure y'all was tapped in. You already know, bruh. And this is why we here. And this is why we here. No pun intended, but the culture united. If one fight, we all fight. You better not let nobody hit your little brother. Y'all better all beat their ass. Y'all better all beat their ass. But yeah, um that's just what I was just trying to see. I was just trying to see where y'all head was at. But yeah, a lot of them just don't be tapped in for real, man. They don't be knowing the answer to them type of questions. They don't know that if you say God is good, that they supposed to say all the time. And if you say all the time, they supposed to say God is good. You feel what I'm saying? So like for them to try to break down super complex nuances of black culture within coded literature has to be extremely difficult. And they show it when they fuck up sometimes. Like they'll just completely misunderstand one of the more pivotal lines of the entire song. You know what I mean? Going 10 steps deeper than they supposed to when it was really just some simple um some simple vernacular that they don't quite understand. It's like Latin to them at some time. And that's shout out to Gen X Gemini. Again, studying us is not the same as living as us. And that's what's the douchebag fucked up. That's what's the douchebag fucked up. He thought because he did a little research that he really understood what the fuck was going on. And that's why he was counting niggas in his basement as a knuckle dragging Neanderthal. Shout out to Justin Hunt. A knuckle dragging Neanderthal in Canada. Count niggas in his basement. Let me see who this is. Viewer, like Drake's lawsuit lawyers for not like us. Exactly. But they trying to get your boy some bread, but it's not gonna work out well. It's not gonna work out well for him at all. At least I don't think so. It's not gonna work out well for him. Okay, we got a couple more super chats. Shout out to Dre. This means I can get a live reaction to Coach Q album. Then Starlito, he on the album for free. We got a free radio station on 101 The Beat. We missing is a skip DJ reaction off Love Inshallah. Hmm. Can we get a reaction? I tell you what, we will do one. It probably won't be a live stream because of the way that the music comes in. It just doesn't work as well. But me and DJ will listen to the first song, and if the first song slap, we'll do a reaction. I tell you that. So, like I was saying, send a link to the email. We are decipher, not the ed, just we are decipher at gmail.com. We'll play the first song, and if it slap, we'll run the reaction and put it up on the member side. You gotta ask who made that potato salad though. Shout out to Slade. That's a fact. But it usually be that auntie or that grandma that everybody know can cook. If because the person who didn't buy it just gonna who didn't make it just gonna buy it and it's gonna be like, yeah, we know. We can tell by the smell that shit was bought. Um, and the reason I say that, Dre, is because um the fact that you're kind of connected to it, I don't want it to feel like payola. So so yeah, we'll listen to that first song, and if it's like, we'll do a reaction, and we'll put it up. And we'll probably put it up so every member can see it. We won't try to pigeonhole it, and we'll put it on the free side on Patreon. I just know in the algorithm that shit gonna get smacked, and it's not gonna do well, due to SEO. Um, and on the live, just the way that my setup is, it's not gonna sound good. So if when I eventually get the Curtis King set up, um I'll be able to try to do it that way. But it sounds tinny when I try to play music on StreamYard. But we are at the 2 hour 10 minute mark, and okay, we'll go. When bro threw his head in the air, that was the bat signal for sure. For sure. Hold on, real quick. Shout out to Slade. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to take the Don't have to be super chats. I just want the last few good topics to talk about, and then we're gonna close it. Um, I like Curtis King, habitual line stepper. He be laughing. He be weak. He definitely gonna get that high pitched laugh off. Um, I'm gonna just try to be me. I'm probably annoying to somebody. So I'm gonna just try to be me as best I can. But his setup is elite. His setup is elite. He one of the people before I started streaming that had me very intimidated because like his production is top tier, top tier. Like cameras panning and shit while he doing live streams, like crazy. Like I'm the person who buys the cameras and do all of that shit and do all the research from that perspective. Like I produce all of our content, so like watching that, and I was like, this how niggas streaming? This how niggas coming with it? Nah, that shit scary. Um, that shit is scary. I was like, nah, like I don't know how we gonna measure up to that if that's what niggas is doing. But that's just his thing. Um, I want to know where he got the boom drop. Sean C has something similar. Um, what boom drop? Uh, we do not have a PO box. We do not have a PO box. We'll have to work something out where you can send that. I'll probably get probably let you send it to one of them Amazon the little Amazon Go thingies. And uh shout out to Dre. I got it. I got the link. Um he a good rapper too, T Fran. He put out a response to Joy. That shit was dope. But yeah, I'll get one of the little Amazon things where it can be mailed to, and we'll do it like that. Man, and I appreciate that. Like just on some like kid shit. You feel what I'm saying? Like I remember like the Hardy Boys. I remember that. I remember having all of those wrestling games as a kid. Um, yeah, that shit is gonna feel like a spot in my inner child. Like that shit gonna be crazy. Like I might cry. You feel what I'm saying? Um, like when you start to like pay it forward to your inner child, it it does something to you. You feel what I'm saying? Like when you start to love on that inner child, it it takes you to a different place as a as an individual, and it's always good. So it won't be no sad tears or no shit like that. But it just be like, damn, like all of those memories and experiences, like they get rekindled, and you get to relive some of that stuff. So it won't be nothing sad. It won't be nothing sad. I'll be extremely grateful. I might have to do a stream when it come and just hold that hoe on my shoulder, like how The Rock used to do. You feel what I'm saying? Like he used to walk down with the world championship on his shoulder, or Stone Cold or some shit. And I just be tapping it while I'm talking, especially when I'm cooking. Shout out to Maynard's uh spaceship. When Mr. Morale came out, I was in that process of doing a lot of shadow work. So when that album came out, that shit felt like um that shit felt like me and him had a legit conversation and was just talking about a whole bunch of shit. And without my permission, he put an album out. You know what I mean? Me and my wife was like she was in her Eckhart Tolle bag, heavy at the time. Um, so she was reading that. I was reading Bell Hook. I can't remember the name of the book, but it was about love, and just being able to receive it and accept it. I was reading. I had read The Alchemist at that time. I had read the antiquated ass Web, Superior Man. Uh, uh, there's some more books that I had read. Um, As a Man Thinketh, I read that. Um, what else did I read? The Four Agreements. I was doing a lot of reading at that time, and so when that album came out, a lot of the stuff he was talking about was just like I was going to therapy, like just being able to uh approach trauma head on, and understanding that those experiences they didn't happen to you, they happened for you. You know what I'm saying? And just getting the understanding and being able to grow through that process and let grief go, and understand that trauma can be used as a mechanism to become a better version of yourself. But if you let it, it can stop you from becoming anything more than that person that you were when the traumatic situation happened to you. I know a lot of people who've been through trauma and they paused at the point where the trauma happened to them, and the trauma might be 10 years old, but they still the person they were when they were traumatized. And my heart goes out to them. But uh giving love to your inner child, man. My wife be on that shit all the time, bro. She like, um, if I get rich, I'm gonna just spend my days loving on my inner child, and nurturing my inner child. Because a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, this is taking an interesting turn, but a lot of people grow up and go through life not realizing that they were truly neglected as children, and in turn neglect other people as a result. And the whole time, all they really need is a hug and somebody to look them in the eye and say, I understand. I know what you went through. You know what I mean? And they also don't realize that it's all on their face. You know what I mean? Shout out to Peachy Keish, resulting in arrested development by stunning where you are when trauma occur. Exactly. Exactly. You know what I mean? And a lot of, especially a lot of women that I know, especially when like I was growing up, like, you know what I mean? Like having my post high school, college day, at that point in time, like you're meeting women at a faster rate, because in college they're more available. You feel what I'm saying? So like I think like five women that I dealt with in a row all had super duper trauma. Like, and I was a psych major, so like one of them would like call me Dr. Skip and shit all the time. Um, but we was really like having conversations, and I would just be like, damn, this shit is really common. A lot of women be like Peachy Key just said, be in survival mode. A lot of men too, but a lot of women, and it be like a lot of common shit. Like it be something from a man, whether it be their father not being there, you know, trusted male figure doing something he ain't supposed to do, um, just anything. A little bitch ass dude who treated her wrong and like strung her along for years, and like preyed on her insecurity, and like fractured her self worth, and a whole bunch of shit. And going through that, I was just like, damn, it's just crazy how common this is. You know what I'm saying? So back to the Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, like that was a healing album for me, um, on a level that I haven't gotten from any of his other work, because it felt like that was the album that was meant for me to hear. You know what I mean? So I think that's his most important work as an artist, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Um, I don't think it's his best album, but I feel like it's his most important. And I feel like in 10, 15 years, we're going to look at that album as one of the most important albums in hip hop history, for what it means, especially if we go into this shift now. Because now people are saying like, "Oh, Mr. Morale, Mr. Morale, is aging so well." You know what I mean? So, so yeah. And I see this Maynard spaceship. We ain't never healed from the biggest one. I don't know what exactly you mean, but if you're going back to um our our relegated servitude and a lot of the stuff that happened from that, I 100% agree. Um, yeah, that's another stream for another day because that'll be another 2 hours trying to break that shit down. But yeah, I feel like yeah, yeah, PTSS. Yep, yep. I had an argument, like a real deal argument with my mama maybe 2 years ago about being physical with my child. She wasn't like, we had the conversation, me and my wife, that we weren't gonna whoop our kids. Um, and my son had did something. He had did something to where back in the day you probably finna get your ass popped, and he did. And we had to have that conversation, like, um, we ain't doing that because we know where it come from, and we know, especially with my psychology degree, I know what it leads to. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that slave shit, man. It's deep. It's deep rooted, like to the point where some black people, like we as a people, some of us don't stare black people in the, don't stare white people in the eyes. Like, it's weird. Like, it's just on the subconscious level. They they planted them roots deep. They planted them roots deep, bro. They planted them roots deep. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, we just gotta realign how we think. And I think that was the biggest aspect of that album, for real, for real. We just gotta realign how we think. And I feel like we'll grow as a people if we all evaluate self and we realign how we think. Because if we really get on some shit where we really feel like we deserve it all, we'll work for that shit. If we really feel like we deserve it all, we'll work for it. If we really listen to Mother Our Soul and take that shit to heart, we'll really do the work to heal from our generational traumas. Because we see how something that happened to somebody a generation before you can affect your life and people's life that you give birth to and people around you in the periphery. So we really gotta shout out to SS. I saw this. Let me stretch. Let me stretch. Okay. But yeah, we really got to align the way we think. We really got to align the way we think. And that way, if we're on one accord, at least in understanding of general shit, we'll be able to align on deeper shit because we already know that we coming together with a mutual understanding of the basis of things. Shout out to SS for the comment. I'm curious to hear how you interpret the scripture, spare the rod, spoil the child. A lot of people interpret the rod as spanking. The rod is discipline. The rod is discipline. That's it. The rod is discipline. So it just depends on how you interpret discipline. You do not have to beat your child, from my opinion, to get the point across to your child. I've never beat my child. My son is about to be 6. And people say that he's one of the most well-mannered, considerate, kind, um, and one of the best listeners that they've come across. Like, he started playing sports maybe a year and a half ago. And one thing that all his coaches say, because he a COVID kid, so he not really athletic yet. He spent a lot of time like withdrawn with us because like he was born in 2019, so COVID hit right before his first birthday. So he spent a lot of his younger years in the house. So he's now just getting into his athletic bag, and even after that, he didn't start going to preschool until right before he turned 4. So he didn't have a lot of childhood interaction. So they say like, yeah, man, he's a great listener. He's a great listener. You know what I mean? So we didn't have to beat that into him. We just had to empower that. We had to rear that effectively without feeling the need to hit him. You know what I'm saying? So like it takes patience, it takes love, it takes care. And I think a lot of the physical stuff comes from the parent trying to sort out shit they going through, the lack of um time they feel that it would take to go another route. Whooping just comes across easier sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So I see why a lot of parents did it. They thought that that was doing it, but it's like it just creates fear in the child. And then once the child sheds the fear of you, there's nothing you can do to them because they're not scared of you no more. You know what I'm saying? So you can't beat a child into submission. You can't beat a child into doing what you want them to do. They just scared. They just have fear. Um, and once that fear dies, it turns into resentment. And that's why you have a lot of kids lashing out on their parents as they get older because they're not afraid of them anymore. And then they start lashing out. And I don't want to do that. I think the biggest thing um, for my kids, I want them to be able to express themselves. I want them to respect the family unit, but I also want them to honor the voice that they have. Because I feel like a lot of our generations didn't have a voice growing up. And that's why a lot of us are quiet now because we didn't have voices. You know what I mean? So I don't ever want to, I don't ever want my children or my wife for that matter to feel like they don't have a voice. You know what I'm saying? So, mm-mm. Like you can still offer the ride in different ways. Um, I try to empower my son with the ability to have self discipline and cognizant of reward and consequence. You know what I mean? So that all that whooping shit ain't necessary. Let me go to super chats. Um, Shout out to D2B2 again. Hey man, I might sheesh. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to D2B2. Shout out to D2B2. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers is the homework that we all want to procrastinate on. Exactly, because once you get to the point of, damn, I'm fucked up right there, and you put them big steppers to the side and you try to become Mr. Morale, you really have to become Mr. Morale. You have to accept responsibility for the things that you fucked up on. You got to understand that them big steppers is in the way to stop you from doing the work that you need to improve on who you're supposed to be. That's why the album stars tell them the truth. You feel what I'm saying? And then at the end, it's like you broke a generational curse. So it's the maturation and the path that you go on and how much you can affect by just becoming a better person within yourself. You can prevent the family from going on a road to destruction just by becoming the best you. And I feel like that's what Kendrick learned in that process. And I feel like that's why he's this person that he is now. It's a video of him. I think it's on his JoJo Ruski page. Like he was highlighting this Asian guy. It looked like he was in the park, maybe Central Park, I think. Is it Central Park? The park in New York? And he was like, he about to go back to work. Discipline, man. Discipline, man. Like he was praising his discipline. You feel what I'm saying? So like that tells me that Kendrick's in a different mindset now. He appreciates discipline. Like he appreciates steadfastness. And oh, he was in Japan. Okay. My bad. But yeah, he appreciates discipline. He run every day. by his, by his words. He run every day. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like he's putting a lot of effort into making his ideals manifest in the physical. Like you getting in shape ain't just a manifestation of the aesthetic. Like Drake got them fake abs for the aesthetic. Like ain't no discipline coming from that. Ain't no confidence coming from that. Not no real confidence. Ain't no old to self-determination coming from that. You don't build a greater you going to do that and cheating like that. That's why Kendrick was mad. It ain't necessarily about him getting the abs. It's about him not having the dedication to himself and the love for himself to actually work to get those. You know what I mean? Like, and the irony, Drake get them fake abs, and then after the tour, he talking about he got to go take a break because his stomach fucked up. What you mean by that? What you mean by that, Drake? It's just ironic that that happens. Like, if you would have been taking care of yourself, you know what I mean? You probably wouldn't have been befallen that illness. You feel what I'm saying? So like, and I need to do better at that my damn self. I go to the gym and hoop frequently, but I do need to get back on them weights. I ain't gonna hold you. I need to get back to my like 25, 27 year old. Like, um, but I think that's a promise I'm gonna make to myself. And now that I'm doing it, I'm on camera in front of y'all and whoever will hear this after. I'm making a promise to myself to be more disciplined and get back in that gym this year. I'm gonna download all Ace Hood albums. I know just hearing them hoes gonna make me gain 15 pounds of muscle. Um, but yeah, that's my promise this year. To be more um disciplined with myself this year. You feel what I'm saying? So if y'all don't take anything from this stream, I want y'all to take discipline away. Discipline and self love, whatever that means for you. You know what I mean? So when you get up in the morning, thank God before your feet hit the ground. Do something for yourself every day. That could be 100 push-ups. You know what I'm saying? 50 squats. Some stretching. Do something. Do something for yourself. We only got one body, and you know niggas is falling out dead at 40. So um, do something for yourself. Like, and I know God don't play when you put shit in the universe. Like, I asked the chat yesterday about how they would view me integrity wise. And then the next day, God made sure that email came to me to test me. Um, and then I prayed for something this morning that I cannot tell y'all about. But I can tell you, he sent a sign today before I got on stream. A very clear sign. Um, I asked him this morning and I said, can you be quick about it? And he was like, you know what? Let me show your ass something. I got you. You're going to hear something today. And we did. And it was very loud. You feel what I'm saying? So make sure y'all, you know what I'm saying, for y'all feet hit that flow. And I'm holding myself accountable too. Make sure y'all thank God for y'all feet hit the flow in the morning. Save some space for yourself. Save some time for yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you got the ability, do something. Do something with your body. Do something with your mind. Do something with your spirit. Do something with your heart, man. Do something with your heart. Um, let that old hurt go. You know what I'm saying? Try to let that trauma go. Um, let that doubt go. That's a big one. Let that doubt go. Let that fear go. Let that anxiety go. You know what I mean? Because ain't none of that shit of God. He ain't put us here to be in fear. Um, I remember I was like, bro, I don't want to be on camera. I just want to do a pod. Like, I just want to talk because of just worrying about how I be perceived. You know what I'm saying? And now look at this shit. A million plus 2 million people have seen me. And who's to say what else I could have gotten to if I would have put the fear to the side a long time ago? You feel what I'm saying? Like, just imagine what your life could be if that one thing that you're fearful about, you stop being fearful about. Shout out to Gen X. She said, no more imposter syndrome. You are where you're supposed to be to build you to where you're supposed to go. That's a fact. That's a fact. Like, we all got to show up as who we want to be. And at that moment that you decide that that's who you want to be and you're intentional about it, that's who you are. That's a fact. Shout out to Gen X for that. That's a fact. Let me make sure. Okay, I was preaching, but I feel like, you know what I'm saying. Like I said in the live for Absa, like, man, this shit missionary work, bro. Absol said all the time, church on the move. Like, whatever two or more meet, we can do stuff like this, and we can have a conversation that needed to be had. Hip hop just a vehicle. Hip hop is just a vehicle for us to really talk about shit that we can leave as better people from. Shout out to Dre guy with the super chat. He said, when you was at your lowest, tell me where the bros was at. 3:30 in the morning, scroll through the call log. Ain't nobody in the mirror looking for the fall off. That was a message to code. I've heard a lot of people say that. But I also take it as self-doubt. I also take it as self-doubt. You're your own worst critic. You can be your own worst critic. And you could be leaning into self-sabotage the whole time just because you're fearful. And you rather fail because it's what you believe you would do anyway, because you're scared to risk what you think it would take to potentially succeed. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, man, whatever you scared about, as far as like a hobby you want to try, or, you know, you want to pick up a camera, a microphone, or fucking a guitar, like whatever whatever it is, do that shit. Do it. I didn't know I had an idea of what this could be. Like, I literally hand drew the set for all of this. I drew it by hand. And it became that. But that is such a very small component. Like, I had to become the person who sat in the seat. And a lot of stuff had to happen for that. And for you to get wherever you intend to go, you got to chisel that shit every day. And I ain't perfect. I'm not perfect. And like I already said, I got some promises that I've made on stream that I got to hold up to. So shout out to Junior B, just walked in, just got done listening to that new Weekend album. How is it? I think I want to do a reaction to it. And shout out to Jen X. She had a super chat that I hadn't got to. My offering for the sermon, because turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor, we will not continue the trauma. That's a fact, man. Like, it's so much that we could gain from shedding trauma and being our best self. We ain't gotta save the world, bro. You gotta save yourself. If everybody save themselves, the world gets saved in the end. The album is amazing. I cried at the end. Ooh, that'd be a good rebound from that Mac Miller. I might do that tomorrow. I might do that tomorrow. I ain't gonna be able to do it Sunday. I gotta help my sister move. Why his album so long? Hey, man, that's a good thing. from the road to 100 that me and DJ doing, I think we 50 albums in. I think 20 albums have been 30 minutes or less, 35 minutes or less. So I take a long album, man. Like especially like when all this other shit, like it be 18 songs and somehow it's still 33 minutes. So um when somebody really putting when they really doing that shit, I take a long album if it's good. But does anybody have anything else? It's 11:30 where I'm at, and I think it's gonna be past midnight to y'all Eastern Standard Time, mofos, and I don't want to hold y'all too much longer. I need to take another shower before I get into bed. I got to be up on daddy duty tomorrow. Oh hell no, I would rather take a long album than a 30-minute album. Absolutely. It's just hard to it's just hard to make a great album in that short of time span. It's almost like you just trying not to fuck up. Yes, yes, ma'am. Thank you to the mods and the chat. Thank you to the mods and the chat. You being one of them Gen X. Thank you for sticking around. Thank y'all for popping up to this impromptu stream. I did not announce it. I ain't got no thumbnail or nothing. Thank y'all for and I didn't have a topic list. But we definitely gonna have one tomorrow. It's a full topic list. I think it's like 6 or 7 topics. Um, don't expect. I will say this. Don't expect an impromptu pop up. Um, the one that happened last time with Absent and Moni was genuinely some shit that just happened in. It just happened, and then that stream ended up being 5 hours long. So me and DJ gonna try to get y'all 2.5, 3 hours and get out of there. Cause I talked to Absa and Moni. They went doing another one. We just gotta schedule it. So it won't be another one of them long ones tomorrow. We'll try to do 2.5, 3 hours and get out of there. And tomorrow we will be talking about a couple of the things we talk about. We'll do some Grammy predictions. We will talk about what songs we think Kendrick is going to do for the Super Bowl. We're going to talk about the rumor that Drake's tickets are not selling in more detail because I think it's an article out on it. I will have seen Read My Soul's video and I'll give some of my thoughts on that. We'll talk about ASAP Rocky and his situation. We'll talk about Lotto and her recent situation and why artists just cannot stay the fuck out of legal trouble. We'll talk about streamers and how they're placing themselves under attack. And whatever else y'all want to talk about. We might go to church again. I don't know. But thank y'all for tuning into another live stream. Shout out to everybody who donated in the super chat. Shout out to everybody who chatted. On the way out, make sure y'all like the stream. Shout out to Slade. Shout out to Miss Mia. Shout out to Gen X Gemini. I greatly appreciate y'all along with everybody else in the chat. Shout out to the Dakotas. Once again, on the way out, even if you don't join Patreon, just download the app and become a free member because that is available. And let's make that chat a thing. Let's make that chat a thing. I really want to hear y'all opinions in there because we're gonna start doing members only live streams as well, where I'll allow people to come up and we can have discourse. So yeah, thank y'all so much, man, for putting up with me and my Murphy's Law ass shit. Like, not like the charger block just disappearing on 1%. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, thank y'all for putting up with that. And I'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Decipher Saturday. I got some reactions that I'm gonna shoot tomorrow. They'll be up. And yeah, until next time, y'all have a good one. Peace.